So I So I'm excited for this call. We have 5 incredible presenters. And for those of you who are just now logging on, what I'm asking is that if you have participated in a referral of any kind, a listing or a buyer referral, anything like that, if you don't mind just chatting that and adding where you referred to, that would be great. We are working on a press release with Terry Tiffany about borderless real estate and about how, now more than ever, the most elite brokers are really being selected by their clients to, to help them curate their experience in other markets. And oftentimes that even means, kind of traveling there. I know Brennan and I were just talking about an agent that is in Portugal right now, kind of, looking on behalf of her clients. I've had clients that have, been looking in Australia and asked that I participate in that. And so it's pretty exciting to kind of watch the speed and the rate of change that is happening within our industry. And so much of that is technology enabled, but I don't think any of that would be possible without the incredible relationships that we all kind of cultivate between each other. And so please, light that chat up. That would be terrific. And of course, that really is on the heels of a couple of really great referrals that we've been talking a lot about this week. Liz Leeds and Stephen Shane. Congratulations. What an incredible transaction that is between 2 Realm members. And then Dennis Rush in Maui referring to Jupiter, to Tom and Jeremy in Jupiter. So I was emailing with them earlier today and they said, boy, that's not a move that a lot of people make, but that was another $10 million referral. So really terrific business happening between Realm members. And I always kind of love to see that and love those relationships. So speaking of that, Brennan, I know we've got some new members on the call and we're going to welcome some new members. So why don't you take it away?
Yeah, for sure. Adding on that Portugal comment, by the way, just this morning, somebody reached out, a very accomplished agent that is not in Realm, was asking about Realm. And so I was going back and forth with her and she's like, well, I'm in Portugal at the moment because I have clients that want real estate referrals in Portugal. I don't have any contacts in Portugal. So I'm in Portugal trying to figure out, and that's what prompted me to reach out to Realm because I need to expand my network. And of course, I just got back from Portugal and we have a new Realm member in Portugal. So I'm like, you get yourself a glass of wine. Let us take care of the introduction for you and we'll get you everything you need in Portugal right now. So it's kind of fun to be part of those conversations. Okay, so let's introduce some new members. We've got a handful of really fantastic members. This Dean Otto, I'll tell you what, he's been recommended into Realm so many times by so many people for so long. It's a thrill to have him in here. He's in Hawaii, and Maui is a very accomplished agent and has been for some time, has a pretty amazing life story. And he also has another business venture that's kind of real estate adjacent that's absolutely fascinating. We're going to hold that for a future call, but we're thrilled to welcome Dean in here and his ideas. So Dean, we're thrilled to have you. Okay, we're going to go to Chicago. I'm a sucker for taglines, and this website and this tagline is awesome. It took me just about a half a second to figure it out. I'm a little slower than most, but this is, by the way, this is Julie Busby in Chicago and her group, feeding Chicago one home at a time, which has a kind of a real estate application, but as you might guess, it immediately highlights their charitable efforts with the Chicago Food Depository. And that is the headline. And I mean, if you were in Chicago, would you not want to work with people like that? It's just fantastic. So welcome to Julie and her crew. We're thrilled to have you in Realm. Okay, Fernanda Negramante, I hopefully got that name correct. Welcome to Realm. This is an amazing agent who owns her own brokerage in Florida, in the kind of the Orlando area, Nova Real Estate Services. She's also got her own personal website, which is fantastic, and she does a lot of amazing business in that area. So welcome to Fernanda. You've got a wonderful name. Okay, Chuck we're going to head over to the coast here. Chuck and Katie Luciano, also a fantastic name, by the way, in Boca, a very accomplished agent. You can see over to the left, lots and lots of rankings and lots of awards over the years. So we're thrilled to have you guys in here. And last but not least, Who doesn't love Charleston? So we've got John Bell and Erica Zepp from Southern Bell Living in the Charleston area. Again, a very accomplished business leader and now a realtor and doing some amazing things. Of course, the thing that catches my eye is that he's from the home of the Little League World Series, which I think that's how you should start every single introduction. So welcome to John and Katie, and to all of our members. This is a great class. We're super excited to have all of you guys in here. And one of the great things, I'm just going to segue right into our topic. One of the great things about Realm is that this community has gotten to the point, and why these calls are, usually in the summer, they're 20, 30, 40 people. We've been well over 100 every week. And the reason is because our membership is getting to the level now that we can start to learn from each other and lean on each other and best practices. We're kind of our own chat GPT within ourselves. And so this panel is all about that. This is the borderless world of real estate and how our members are doing unique things to promote their marketplace in the world to across the state or across the world, because that's what's happening now. So we've got 5 panelists. I'm going to introduce them first, or just tell you who they are. And then we're going to go back and visit with each of them for a few minutes. First is going to be Allison Richards from 30A in Florida. Then we've got Laura Peary from Richmond, Virginia. Sandra Miller from Santa Monica, California. Lisa Westcott from Scottsdale, Arizona. And then we wanted an international perspective. So we've got Akil from Tulum, who's with that amazing development that we learned about a couple of months ago. We're going to hear about how we promote Tulum to the rest of the world. So let's start. Allison, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
And first of all, just a word or two about yourself, a word or two about 38, and then I think we're going to share a video and lean maybe a little bit on Julie and Katie Brockman. So take it away.
Okay. I've been in the 30A area since 2008 and have enjoyed building my business in that location. To date in 2023, we're close to an $80 million a year team. Right now, we've added 3 additional members, and what I think is most interesting, migration is a real pattern. So when COVID occurred, I'd say a very large influence of Californians on the West Coast moved their entire families and multi-generational families. So that's something that is very unique to what impacted that time in our lives.
Wonderful. So 38, for those that don't know, just you don't have to use a map or anything, but where in Florida is this, for those that don't know the number?
We are in the northwestern corner of Florida. So it actually borders Alabama, and it's the Panhandle or the Emerald Coast. You would fly into either the Panama City Beach area or the Destin Airport.
Okay.
And that's in between Pensacola and Panama City Beach, if that helps.
Okay, one more kind of statistical or level setting question. Top 3 referral markets, or top 5, let's say. Where are they coming from?
I would say Dallas is major, Nashville is major, and Atlanta is major.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's talk about how you put 30A on the map. And I guess I'll prompt you a little bit with what we started this whole panel idea with, was that you and Julie, with Sandow's help, created a video, right? One of these location Lux videos. Tell us about that, and then we'll ask to see a couple minutes, the first 2 minutes of the video.
Yeah, sure. So it was really an idea that spoke out to me because Sandow is one of your partners that you offer. And it really is educating people to looking through your lens of the community and the environment in which you live, in which you sell real estate. And so Julie was kind enough to come to our area, and I really picked a few favorite locations that have resonated with myself and then our client base. And I was able to bring Julie along with the Sandow crew. And we started from one end of a 24-mile stretch over a 2-day period and just had a great time. So it was really valuable, the relationship and interaction I had with Julie, as well as just painting the picture for people who are not familiar with this market.
Yeah, two days, 24 miles.
Yeah.
Picked spots along the way, shot some video. Can we start like the first 2 minutes of the video? Do you mind sharing it?
Let's see here. Yeah, it should be up in our chat. Let me go back to, give me 1 second.
Julie, while she's pulling that up.
Yes,
your
I have to give
standpoint, how is
huge
this-
props. You know, Alan Canis is the one that kind of saw the vision of Location Lux early on, and he got it started for Realm. And so we've been really good stewards of the project that he really got off the ground. So thank you for that, Alan, and for season 1. I mean, you're amazing and such a visionary as always. But it's come so far because, you know, I think it was something where so much was happening virtually at the time. And now it's, you know, it's evolved to kind of these in-person productions, which has been really fun to kind of film and experience the some of the locales in person.
Yeah, and Brendan, I've actually put it in the chat, but I don't know if that's something you can pull up on your end.
I think I will be able to.
Okay.
I just need to find, oh, wait, there it is. You know, you guys are doing so many referrals, for the love of God.
Yeah, I know, right?
Finding this thing in the chat is no.
Hundreds of
What a good
referrals.
problem to have. What a good
Yeah,
problem to
my
have.
gosh. Let me see if I can copy and paste it right into
Okay.
here.
But
And-
yeah,
and-
and I'm
and
happy.
Brendan, I have it
I have
loaded
it too, Brennan, if you need it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Brendan, I have it loaded too, if you need it.
Can you see? Okay, let me share my screen. I found it.
This is Katie. I don't know if you can hear me.
Hey, Katie B. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit play and then we'll watch, give it 2 minutes and then I got a few questions.
Today on Location Lux, we are in the panhandle of Florida, enjoying the coastal communities known as 30A. We'll be with Allison Richards and her real estate team going all in on the lifestyle. Let's go. So Allison, it's so good to be with you here today in 30A. What exactly is that?
30A is an amazing, charming 24-mile stretch of a beach town. We are positioned between Destin and Panama City Beach on the Gulf of Mexico. And then each pocket of 30A has a different personality and a different flavor. Today is going to be phenomenal.
What town are we in right now?
We are in Rosemary Beach, which is on the east end of 30A, and we are actually positioned in the Rosemary. This is a beautiful cottage that is very close to the Gulf access here. Everything is walking distance.
And so bike friendly? Tell me a little bit about that and how this whole community came to be.
This community came to be as a new urbanism idea. The individual who initiated it had the plan in 1995, and over the years, it has grown to be a completely unique community. We have a lot of people that visit from larger cities such as Atlanta, Dallas, and Houston, just so they can get away and have a little bit of peace and quiet in the sleepy town of Rosemary Beach.
You've got the sophisticated architecture and then the green space, incredible blue waters. I mean, it is just a feast for the eyes.
It is, and it's very unique here. We have turtle season, which is May through October.
I love that.
So that is just a really unique feature. You go at night and you can't disturb, but you can see them laying their eggs.
So the architect,
Okay, we're gonna stop at the turtles because
Yeah, the turtles.
yeah. Wow, look at that. You guys, you guys are like pros out there. That was fantastic. From anybody that wants to jump in, tell us just a little bit about maybe how video has helped. You know, obviously it gives visualization to things, but how have you been able to tell the story a little bit easier using video?
Well, I can speak for how we've used it at Amare. We've been able to leverage video to bring the stories of our buyers to folks and really kind of explore why people bought, what was important to them and their different stories. Because we have several different buyer personas, right? Some folks buy in Tulum because they're interested in getting away and relaxation and disconnecting.
I love it. I might, you know what, I'm going to hang on to your comments because we've got a whole section I want to hear about that. And I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but perfect comments. Allison and Julie, you know, putting 30A on the map, how has video kind of helped do that?
I think not only were we able to use Lux TV to push it out there, but then Katie's really been able to deep dive into how you can really utilize this as a marketing tool in areas that maybe you haven't utilized before. So a big YouTube push, but also breaking it down into mini clips. And this can be broadcast across all of your social assets. Even I'm getting introduced to new people who want to come to the area. So I'm taking little snippets of that video and then just populating it in a text thread. Check this out and, learn a little bit about our area. So we've got maybe a few minutes to come across and catch people's attention. And I think video delivers a visual message that will be remembered longer than anything else.
I think too, and this is a perfect example, but like one of the things we do so well about telling the story of our destination or telling the story of a particular property, but telling our stories and kind of making it something where it's about, like, why do you want to work with Allison, or why do you want to work with Liz, or why do you want to work with, Bob? Those are all important things too, of like how you use the destination and why you're such an expert at what you do, because I think from there it really becomes more personal and people feel like they have a connection with you because they know a little bit more about your lifestyle as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And Allison, thanks for sharing that. I mean, the creation of the 10-minute video, and I know a lot went into that, is one thing, but the kind of the astute distribution of it is really the art, and figuring out how to break it up, how to keep using it, how to, after you, for months or years to come. I mean, you don't get Julie Faupel to show up every day. So let's make sure we turn that into some evergreen content. Katie,
I would go back to 30A tomorrow, Brennan. So that's
you would. I would.
I wanted to add that I just did a beautiful blessing here on the island of Kauai at my home. And with my videographer, I was able to come in, show the property, show the views, introduce a lot of my clients, past and current clients. And it was, I didn't know this was going to happen, but one of the things that the woman, the Hawaiian that offered the blessing did, is she had everyone share how they felt about me. So it became a testimonial, as well as a real estate visual, as well as an introduction of myself that I'm going to use on my website. And I've already started sending it out with lots of response. So
that's great. Yeah. So some kind of extra unintended consequences. Katie Brockman, just to wrap up this segment, a word or two on Location Lux, and then maybe a reference to how we can find out more information.
Yeah, so thank you, Allison and Julie. This is the 37th video that we've produced with REALM. Really incredible to think of where we started with Alan during COVID to this video today with Allison on 30A, which I think is just taking it to a whole new level. But I thought Allison did an incredible job of really marketing this to not only her sphere of influence, but also really leveraging the REALM relationships, because this is the power of this video that I think is being produced, is that Julie is there, and that REALM network and that REALM branding gives it that extra stamp of approval, coupled with Lux. As people are becoming much more discerning about the type of content they're watching, there's plenty of content out there. But when you have that REALM endorsement, when you have the Lux endorsement, it really curates it and also makes the particular person watching it much more credible. And so I think that this just elevated it in a whole new way. I also think a smart thing just from the REALM Global Connect that came out of some conversations we had with agents that had participated in the past is the excitement with ChatGPT. So what we can do now with these videos is we can create transcripts of your video with Sandow and turn that into a blog post. So several agents on this call I've worked with to do that, including Allison. So you can just take the video, plug it into ChatGPT, and that creates an immediate blog post that you can use and post. And that's great for search. So all of that, allows you to be caught up in search, which then allows people to find you through unique ways. So a 10-minute video has become very powerful. And Allison, and Julie, this is really one of the best ones we've done. So keep spreading it, keep sharing it with your sphere of influence, give it to the feeder markets like Dallas and Atlanta and Nashville that you talked about, because
Right.
it's great content for those partner agents in those markets as well. So
Yeah.
the more we can kind of support each other, the better.
We'll have some information to share out on Location Lux, which is an amazing program, but just in general, video and the story that you can tell through video and how you can turn it into additional content pieces, evergreen pieces. And I mean, Allison and Julie, you're experts, you're comfortable on camera. I suspect that after going through this process with the resources like a Sandow with professional everything, the next videos you do are just going to feel really quite a bit more comfortable, right? Because you've done it at the peak level. Now you're pros. So you're probably pros going into it. Okay, so great stuff. Thank you. We're gonna switch gears now, and we're gonna go up the coast to Richmond, Virginia. And when I got Laura's, this is a completely different tactic we're gonna start with, but it is so well done. It's I get a lot of great newsletters. This is one I read cover to cover every time. And it's just such a different vibe. So I want to introduce Laura Perry from Richmond, and I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to start with this, if I can find it, of course, which is a newsletter that you send out to your sphere. Do you want to talk about it while I'm finding it, Laura?
Sure. I think I've been writing this for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years. I used to do it every month. And then when I moved last year, after being in my house for 28 years, I realized how difficult that is when I had to do it myself. So I had to drop back to every other month. It was just much more manageable. So I had this idea years ago, all of us have newsletters, maybe calendar events we send out, or, just as realtors, we send out a lot of the same things about real estate. And I just wanted to do something a little different. And so I came up with this name that's called Inside Outside RVA. And the concept was to have 3 sections. One would be about inside home or inside Richmond borders. And then outside would be outside, like physically outside, or outside in the Northern Neck, which is a niche market I have in the waterfront. And then RVA would be a segment about things in Richmond or highlighting somebody or business, et cetera. So that's sort of the, I wanted to have these 3 segments, which I have. Are you there, Brandon?
Yep, I am. You bet.
So anyway, and I just, my goal, I think a lot of newsletters can be kind of robotic or not very personal, or too heavy on real estate. And I really try not to have it anything about real estate, except if you've read my posts, you hear my self-deprecating stories about me moving and all that stuff. But so I try to insert my sense of humor. I try to make it educational, and really a lot of it based on my personal experience. And
yeah. So I want to ask you a question about this, because what we just saw was video, and what we're going to see are a whole bunch more visuals and stuff like that. There's a lot of words here, right? And that's a somewhat atypical sometimes what you see in this space. But I read it because it's so well written, and it brings me into the vibe. I think you're going for a vibe of Richmond. I mean, Richmond's a pretty heady, intelligent town, and I think it just speaks to it. No, why did you choose to do it this way?
I just wanted to be different. Did you ever find that's what you're showing right now is not the format?
Oh, it's not. Oh, I might have.
Yeah.
I'm just using the email format.
I just wanted to do something different, and I wanted to share information about the town I've been in for decades, and also highlight, my niche market. And so that's kind of how it originated. And then, it's some of the articles can be long, but I want, some people like to read long things, other people don't. And so sometimes if you stick with an article, you'll find a nugget of humor, towards the end that hopefully will make you laugh. And I tried to have, links to certain things, like the one I did this last month was about all these apps that you can use to, find nature and bird calls and things. And I don't know. It's stuff that's interesting to me. And a lot of the people who get it reach out to me and say that they same thing like you've written. It's very unique. It's the only thing I read. And then
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was looking at kind of the Apple Mail version, which tends to be a little bit read only. So there's other formats that this goes out in for sure. So, by the way, I forgot kind of an important thing. Give us 2 minutes on Richmond, like what's going on there? Where is it located? I mean, we know where it's located, but what's
Richmond's the
going on?
capital of Virginia, and
Yeah.
Chris Small's a REALM member. Is a great colleague he owns his own brokerage here. So the two of us, we love Richmond. It is happening. There's a lot of people moving here. I mean, obviously with the pandemic, we got a big influx, but we're still getting people who just have decided, the price point, the lifestyle. We're really big on the food scene, culture, arts. We're like an hour and a half from the water, an hour and a half from DC, an hour and a half from the mountains. It's a great lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. Can I share? I'm going to go back to the web, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about, because I think you had a pretty unique story with this particular property.
Right. Okay,
Tell us about
this. So this, so let me just say, before the pandemic, my niche market, which is in the northern neck of Virginia and the Middle Peninsula. So this happens to be in Gloucester, Virginia, a very historic area. I represent mostly sellers for waterfront properties. It's like a second, third home market. I was very used to holding a listing for a year, no problem, because the inventory was so large from the 2008 fallout. And so, we just had so much property down there. So this property I listed right at the onset of the pandemic. So if the pandemic hadn't happened, I might still even have this listing, but this property sold like the first day of shutdown to a buyer on a FaceTime call who bought it sight unseen. So, it's a historic property. It had several dependencies, a guest house, it had a carriage house for offices, it had the waterfront, it had 60 acres. And so the timing to launch this one couldn't have been more perfect. And, the person who bought it, remember in the beginning of the pandemic, we had no idea how long we were going to be in this or what was going to happen. But I think it was a really good move on his part to be able to spend, move from California and spend the last 3 years there. So
how did they have some familiarity with the area? How did you convince them that, I mean, the property stands on its own, obviously, but how did you convince them that this was an area of the world?
Well, they weren't my buyer. It was an agent that I work with, but we together did a FaceTime, showing, and, the inside had it staged, and, it just looked really great inside, and the people just had an affinity for, older properties, and convincing people to come, especially I've noticed from like a distance, there's a lot of fear involved in that. And, trading, like, it's like fear and fun. I think, it's an emotional decision, I think, for people to buy second homes like this, especially if it's not close by. And so, I think there's a lot of education, explaining to them what's, what the areas are like. I mean, the northern neck has some very rural areas, some very populous areas, hospitals, no hospitals, restaurants, no restaurants. So I do a lot of education on the front end, particularly with buyers who want to come and, live on the water. We've got lots of water in Virginia. We're lucky that way. It just depends on, do you want deep water? Are you a boater? All this stuff that I think being well educated in the area about the choices when you're trying to sell to somebody from out of the area. And really, we're getting people globally coming. It used to be maybe a 2-hour radius from Richmond who would go down to the northern neck. They're coming from everywhere now because they can fast forward that, that dream lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thanks for sharing. I mean, I think the headline here is there's a lot of different ways to do this. And, I always kind of have Ruth's advice ringing in my ears as we all talk about ChatGPT, which is amazing, but there's something to being authentic, and there's something to taking the time and writing it yourself. And I think I think your newsletter is a really good example of what authenticity can feel like. And Richmond is a market, and you are a person that has a reputation nationwide as being authentic. I mean, there's a handful of people that I could say Laura Peary to anybody at any network, and they all seem to know you as that person. So it's reflective of you, no?
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But back to the Chat GPT, you and I chatted about this a little bit. So I was thinking about it this morning. I think Chat GPT, it can probably figure out how to tell a good joke, but that authenticity piece about really like talking about a personal experience, I can't see that really happening yet. And so that's why I value what I do and what I write, so that, it's just, like I said, transparency, authenticity. That's kind of what I'm about.
Yeah. If people wanted to subscribe to this, could they go to your website?
They could.
Okay.
Or you can email me, or you can text me, and I'll put you on the list. Yeah. I'd be
Awesome.
happy for you to get the every other month copy.
Great. Okay. Wonderful. Thanks. Well done, Laura. Okay. Let's head out to the other coast. And we're thrilled to have newly minted, probably not the first time, maybe, but certainly well-deserved, the winner of the best realtor in Santa Monica, or something along those lines. Sandra Miller is going to share with us about how she promotes an amazing part of the world. Sandra?
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. So I have a short PowerPoint, so I will, not PowerPoint, but something. So I will share my screen. So bear with me a second here.
Yeah, for sure. And for, as you're pulling that up, not to kind of ask you to do two things at once, but tell, how long have you been in Santa Monica?
So I've been selling in the Santa Monica market for almost 20 years now, which seems like it was yesterday when I started. So how can that happen? All right, so I am sharing my screen. Hold on, I do not do two things at once well.
Sorry.
There we go.
Perfect.
See that?
Yeah.
So most people know about Santa Monica. The people that I get that come here don't really know that they want to live in Santa Monica. They want to live somewhere on the west side, unless they're transferring to work right in Santa Monica. So I would say that's maybe 1% of all the buyers that come here. They want to live somewhere on the west side, which can be from Beverly Hills to Malibu. Although true West Siders are from the 405 to Malibu. So crossing that 405 can be traffic problematic. So it's basically a matter of going through the different areas and talking about the good, bad, or indifferent of those areas. For Santa Monica itself, I think if you're going to live in Santa Monica, you should live at least close enough to walk to the beach. Of course, our beach is amazing. We have the Santa Monica Pier. It's a very culturally diverse community, which is very fun. Lots of people from all over the world live here and go to school here and work here. So this is what you're seeing now is just something that we put together so that we could send out to people who aren't sure where they want to live. And then we do market tours, and I'll show them different neighborhoods. Sustainable lifestyle, high quality education and healthcare. Everything is available right here in Santa Monica. We have our own school district, our own police force, our own fire department. So it's a little city. It's a big city, but it feels little city within LA. And people will say, well, what's the difference between Venice and Santa Monica? Well, the difference is Venice is part of the greater city of Los Angeles, and they have the LA police force and the LA fire department, so an LA school district, where Santa Monica is operated like a little town, although it's very vibrant at this point, and it's grown tremendously in the last 20 years. When I first started selling in this market, condos were $400 a square foot. Now the average condo is $1,200 a square foot. A single family home average price was, $700 a square foot. And now it's $1,600 a square foot. And the prices went from, very few $3, $4, and $5 million sales to it's not unheard of to have, 10 $10 million sales in a month.
Right.
So that's Santa Monica in a nutshell. And our market overall, Santa Monica, north of Montana, which is my office is on Montana. So north of Montana is kind of our specialty area. North of Montana, dirt on a 7,500 square foot lot is worth $3.5 million. So to get a new home construction on a very small lot, you're at 8 to 11 million today.
So, yeah. So, I mean, can you flip back through that just backwards, just a couple of pages? Because, you know,
of course,
I'm seeing this for the first time, and I think I would come into, if I were looking to move to Santa Monica, and I bet you run into this all the time, you're coming in with preconceived notions, either that it's LA, or it's, you know, it's beach and party all the time. And what you're really talking about here are things, you know, job markets and sustainability and things that, so do you this helps you spend a little bit of time level setting for people, right?
it does. And it's like, you know, the first thing you have to ask somebody is, what do they do? What do they enjoy doing? And that will pinpoint what community to really point them towards. You know, if someone says they want to be able to walk to coffee, the school system's really important to them, then I would say, you know, north of Montana, Santa Monica, for sure. Also Ocean Park, which is Main Street, very different kind of more beachy vibe, more beach shack. It's a different part of Santa Monica that you can bring someone to. You can drive people, like there was a client that was here from Germany a couple of weeks ago looking at $20 to $30 million listings. And he didn't know where he wanted to live: Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Brentwood, Malibu. And it was really interesting when you drive people through especially from out of the country, into the different neighborhoods. They're like, there's no way I want a second home in this neighborhood. It feels too neighborhoody, right? They would feel out of place as a second home. So I think it's just, everybody is different and everybody's unique.
Yeah.
And so I've really learned the different areas and what people like to do, and try and steer them where they'll be most happiest.
Yeah, I love it. Well, listen, a lot of people from Realm had a pretty wonderful experience in Santa Monica at Shutters on the Beach, and that photo on the right, which of course is the American flag, was lit up with the Realm logo for a period of time, which was a lot of fun. A quick question, by the way, and again, maybe this is an overcoming perceptions question or not. What about the transfer tax in market? Give us a word or two on that.
Okay, so Santa Monica, in its infinite wisdom, first of all, Santa Monica has the tightest control on rent control of any of the cities, although LA is quickly catching up with them. But they passed a luxury tax that is $56 per $100, which is one of the highest in the world. And they think it's unconstitutional. It's in court right now. So, you know, there's two big entities that have sued the city to get them to reverse that, or to say it's unconstitutional and take it back. And so they're not even spending the money. They're collecting the money on transfers over $8 million, but they're putting a piece of that in an escrow account at the city, because they even think they're going to end up having to refund that money. Because it's a ludicrous tax.
Because the fund intentionally, I just talking to a couple other LA area agents, is meant to raise money for affordable housing. But you're saying Santa Monica already has the most kind of forward thinking affordable housing or rent control policy. So yeah, but do you run into that? When people are looking, are they catching on the national news some of this, and has it had an impact, or
it's all of LA County has a mansion tax, and Santa Monica's just is on steroids. And Santa Monica's actually went into effect a month before the LA ULA tax. So both of them are under attack at the moment. What's happened, and it's Santa Monica, it really kicks in at 8 million. The ULA is at 5 million and 10 million, and it's on residential and commercial properties. But the Santa Monica, what happened is the whole market here just sort of contracted. There was at one point in May, early May, if you looked back for 30-day sales, there were only 36 sales in all of Santa Monica, which has probably 7,000 agents. there was 36 sales for the whole market. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what happens in Santa Monica. That's what happened here in 2008.
Right.
When things get strange in the economy and with taxes and things like that, what happened, everybody just contracts and nothing happened. No businesses transacted. We didn't lose dollar value on our properties in 2008. We lost market share. I mean, we just didn't sell anything.
Yeah, totally.
So
Okay.
it's
Well,
an interesting market that way.
yeah.
A
Thank
lot
you.
of wealth in Santa Monica.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing, not just about Santa Monica, but how you talk about it to the world, because it is one of the most talked about destinations on earth, and you get all kinds of perceptions from all kinds of different backgrounds. So this has been great. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to head a little bit inland, and we're going to go to Scottsdale. We've got Scottsdale, and then we've got Tulum. So let's start in Scottsdale, Lisa. And I think I'm sharing my screen for this, Lisa. So while you're getting ready, I'm going to get ready.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, shoot. Let me flip back to the beginning.
Oh,
there we go. Okay. Can you see my screen, Lisa? Is this what we're
I
supposed
can. Yep. So what we did is we put together, or I should say Judy, my assistant, put this together. And I'm sure you're all familiar with Storybook. This is what we did to try to present to you as the Realm members. Why Scottsdale? Why sell to somebody in Scottsdale? I've been here for 28 years, and I can tell you that when I first moved here when I was 22, there wasn't a lot going on except the weather. And the weather hasn't changed. The weather is amazing, and people have started to figure that out. And with the pandemic, and golf courses almost had like a new life to it. And so in Scottsdale and the surrounding areas, we have over 200 golf courses. That's a huge push for why people come here. But we also, a lot of people don't realize all of the other outdoor activities that we have. We have the golf. We have almost 300 miles of hiking trails, which you can hike on foot, you can bike, you can horseback ride, there's trips and trails and all types of different things that you can do out on it's the McDowell Sonoran Desert that's completely protected. We have everything from nightlife in Old Town Scottsdale to, if you want to go further north and kind of escape the whole thing, we have places like Flagstaff, Sedona, Jerome, all these historical places that you can go to. There's a lot to Scottsdale surrounding areas that people don't, people are not aware of, right? So, on this sheet that we created, it's got some fun Scottsdale fun facts about, when it was founded in 1894. And a lot of people hear Scottsdale and they know about Scottsdale, but they don't realize that it's not a huge city. It's really about 300,000 people just enjoying life. And I would say probably from November through June, it's pretty active. We have we have sports. We have everything from our professional hockey, football, baseball, WNBA. We have all of that. Plus we have, as you see on here, we have all of our events like the Barrett Jackson spring training, Arabian Horse Show, the Bentley Polo tournament. And I'm sure most people are very familiar with the biggest show on grass, which is the Waste Management Phoenix Open. And I will tell you that if you are a golfer, you go to this not to watch golf. If you want to watch golf, you stay home and you watch it on TV. If you want to people watch, this is what you do. And you plan on going the entire day. Make sure that you drink lots of water, lots of sunscreen, and lots of patience, because there's a lot of people having a good time.
Right on. Okay, so very true. I've seen some of that. Okay, so back to this document. You said you created this for us. Is this something you're also sharing with? How are you promoting Scottsdale to other people in other markets? Is this a vehicle, or do you have other things as well?
This can be now a digital version of it, but what we do, the Scottsdale City Tourism Department puts together a booklet like this. And whenever we have clients that come into town, we create a tour, but
Yeah.
within the tour book, we provide this. So that, because this book has everything from the sunny Scottsdale to some of the Scottsdale fun facts. It also has, I don't know if you can see this, but it's got a map of the entire valley, including it dives down into Old Town Scottsdale, all of Scottsdale, shows you all of the golf courses, their contact info, shows you all of the trails, restaurants, spas, you name it.
So by the way, just a word on this sunny Scottsdale that's on screen now. Some people that were earlier on the call were talking about this. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's pretty cool. Like, people don't think about that.
No, and yeah, because it depending on what time of year you come, if you are here from November to even May,
Yeah,
you may need a scarf and a sweatshirt. Plan to wear layers because throughout the day you're taking them off. And I was saying in the pre-call, anything goes. You can, if you're going to go out to a nice restaurant and someone says, hey, what are you going to wear tonight? You can wear whatever you want. You can wear jeans and a t-shirt. You can wear a black tie. You can wear whatever you want. Nobody judges you. You're there to have a good time, and that's all that matters.
yeah, I love it. Well, and we've got some other amazing Scottsdale members, some on the call. I saw Debbie and Monica and Angelica and others. I'm sure can echo all of this. I'm going to go through just a couple more things on here, and you tell me if there's anything more. This is obviously a beautiful photo reel. There's some statistics on the market, which I'm seeing here. And then I think this wraps up with a video. Do you want me to play this video quickly, Lisa?
Sure. And just to preface it, it's a video of a 16-acre lot in an exclusive golf community, Silverleaf, 16 acres, and it's listed for 7.5 million.
Okay, well, let's run.
Welcome to the epitome of luxury living in Scottsdale, where sophistication and exclusivity blend seamlessly in the prestigious guard-gated community of Silverleaf. I'm Lisa Westcott with the W Group at Silverleaf Realty, and I am so excited to share with you this one-of-a-kind opportunity. Nestled within the coveted Horseshoe Canyon, this magnificent 16-acre lot is a true gem that must be seen to be believed. Prepare to be enchanted as you explore this extraordinary opportunity, which offers a vast canvas of possibilities for creating your dream estate. With over 2 acres of building envelope, you have ample space to design a sprawling residence that harmoniously blends indoor and outdoor living. Imagine strolling through lush grounds, hosting unforgettable gatherings in your expansive outdoor entertaining areas, and basking in the breathtaking views that surround you. Privacy is paramount, and this exclusive lot is uniquely positioned backing onto a pristine preserve and nestled into a picturesque canyon. Revel in the tranquility and seclusion that this location provides, where you can unwind and escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Convenience is also a key feature of this exceptional property. Enjoy effortless access to the renowned Silverleaf Clubhouse, where you can indulge in world-class amenities and a vibrant social scene. It is no surprise that the developer originally identified this as one of the top lots in the entire community. The potential to create a truly remarkable living experience here is unparalleled. Don't miss your chance to own a slice of paradise in Silverleaf, where luxury, prestige, and natural beauty converge to create an unrivaled lifestyle. For more information on this one-of-a-kind opportunity, call me, Lisa Westcott, 480.
Awesome, great video. You know, what I like about this piece, and again, I know you created it for us, but it could, I'm sure, have legs, and it combines information about the community, in events and market stats, and then property. It could be a really kind of a cool one package type thing to send out to people. So I love it. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we're going to head over to Tulum. We've got Akil, who was kind enough to weigh in on video, which please finish your thoughts, but tell us a little bit about like 1 minute on Tulum for those that don't know. And then how are we know you've got an amazing development there. Tell us how you're talking about Tulum and how you're convincing people that this is the place to live or get a second or third home. Akil?
Yeah, you bet. So Tulum is a wonderful destination. It's a destination that's known for wellness, healing, disconnecting, which appeals to a lot of our buyers, but then also fun. It's just one of the top travel destinations in the world. However, when we're talking to people about buying a second home there, or relocating there, or buying an investment property there, not only are you talking about buying a property in a different location, but it's really a whole different jurisdiction. People have all kinds of questions. What's it mean to buy a property in another country? How does that even work legally? And so to solve for that, we did two things. We partnered with the best realtors in the world, and REALM is part of that strategy. And the other piece to that was really content, creating lots of really good content that educates and tells the story about Tulum, and with a real focus on video.
Okay.
So what we did there was we did a lot of research with some of the best realtors we could find, and that had some great video content. We found out how they were producing that content. And we found that they were hiring these top-notch targeted video teams to come and spend time with them for extended periods of time, and just build out these large content libraries that told the stories that they wanted to tell about different properties and different locations. And so we selected one of those teams, brought them in for several months. In fact, they're still here, and they're just focusing on different stories about this location, and also different realtors. So as realtors come down and bring their clients down, we spend a lot of time videoing those realtors, having those realtors tell their stories, having their buyers tell their stories, and then delivering kind of a content library to those realtors that they can then repurpose across all their platforms, right? So whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever they happen to be active on.
You said they've been down there for several months and they're still there. Do you think you're going to get them to leave ever? Or do you think they just
So we don't want them to leave. So initially, because we've seen the results. So initially the engagement was supposed to be for 30 days. We extended that to 2 months. Then it was 3 months. And now we're like, there's more content we want you to shoot. There's more stuff we want you to do. And so there's no reason for them to leave just yet. And the library, it's great because the library has continued to build. And again, once you have that content, once you have a great interview with someone, or you're telling the story about, the cenotes in Tulum, or the investment story about the location, you can repurpose that so many ways.
Yeah.
So
100%. It's what we were talking about earlier. It's just when you get good content, it can become evergreen. I want to back up for just a second, because you mentioned, sometimes you're explaining, maybe not overcoming, but you're explaining the process of owning property in another country. How do you do that in advance? Do you have a website that people can visit and see the process? Do you send out documents? How do you get them comfortable?
Well, we have a number of assets that we use. There's a page on the website that explains it. There are a couple of videos on our Instagram that explain it. Now we also tend to send directly to the buyer, usually via text message. We talk through it in the brochure as well. And then when there's normally a Zoom tour that happens ahead of the physical visit. Typically is how it goes, not always, but typically. And obviously we walk through it there. So you tend to have to explain it more than once. Yeah. Right. So we have it in a number of different channels. We explain it more than once, and it sinks in and they become comfortable, usually pretty quickly, because it's relatively straightforward, luckily, in Tulum.
Yeah. Wonderful. Julie, did you, we've had such great talk tracks and content. Did you have a question or a comment?
Well, I love hearing from Akhil, because I think his project is one of the most favorably priced projects on the planet. And so do you mind just doing a little bit of shameless self-promotion? I don't know what you have left right now, but just share kind of your price point, because I think that this is a perfect example of an opportunity and a time when REALM members can kind of serve this up to their clients and to those that are maybe interested in investing in an emerging market.
You bet. So our smallest villa, believe it or not, is $400,000. And our most expensive today, which is the Jaguar, which is a massive 4-bedroom villa with two pools, that goes for $560,000. And I just dropped some links in the chat, so you can go to our website and see our Instagram, and also book a Zoom tour if you like. But I'll also drop the price points in there too. But
And
Yeah.
these are the real deal, like these.
Well, and these
are-
can be rented too, right? Akil, like you can put these in a rental, you've got a property management program, everything right on site.
Absolutely. So our motto is live, work, play, and invest. And that invest part is super important to a lot of our buyers. And so we do on-site property management, everything from soup to nuts. We provide the furniture packages. Obviously, we do the turns, top tier marketing. So one of the members of our team actually wrote the book on Airbnb marketing, and they're the folks that handle the marketing of your property on the OTA platforms. And so we actually did a bunch of evergreen content around him, around the books that he's written, and just a series on how you manage properties profitably on Airbnb and VRBO and other platforms. So that was another good content arc that we did.
Awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff, everybody. Allison, Laura, Sandra, Lisa, Akil, this was really interesting. And I think, like in a lot of things in real estate, there's a lot of ways to do it and a lot of ways to do it well. So thank you to all of you guys. Julie, before I turn it over to you for last comments, next week, we've got a really interesting call. We have a certified genius that's going to be our speaker. He is an expert in climatology and is going to talk to us about just kind of all sides, what's going on with climatology and how it affects real estate and how being knowledgeable can actually improve our positions out there. So it's going to be really fascinating. We're really excited for that. So Julie, any final words?
Well, I don't know. I was reading a quote as we were getting on the call. And so I would just say that thanks everybody. And just remember that those who don't make dust, eat dust.
Very, very profound.
How profound is that?
Yeah. Laura Perry, you want to get that in your next newsletter. You want to get that right now.
Have a great
Sure, I
week,
have a
guys.
childhood story that can reflect that.
Julie,
Thank you all.
my favorite line in real estate to my clients on getting ready for the market, I'm like, it's better to show up late than ugly.
That's that agrees.
So if we have to wait a little bit, we're going to wait, but we're going to be beautiful.
That's right. Well, this realm group, I mean, this is a pretty good looking crew, so we don't
Right.
have a lot to worry about here.
Right.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thanks,
my
everybody.
goodness.
Have a
Oh, I
wonderful
love all
day.
of you guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Great
Thank
call.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.